Hello, everybody. This is Hanna from Fab News. I usually report from Japan, but today I'm reporting from Poland. We have 25th of August 2021. And today I'm going to ask few questions of my guest, Haider from Pakistan, who is in the region, and he can explain a lot to us about Afghanistan, current situation, what is going on with the political situation there with Taliban, etc., etc. So without further ado, Heather, what can you tell us about yourself first? Why do you think you know anything about Afghanistan? And who are you? Maybe you can introduce yourself to our viewers.
Thank you very much, Hanya, for inviting me. First of all, I'm from Pakistan and I'm living in the neighborhood of Afghanistan, and my province is KPK, which is connected to Afghanistan border. So I can tell you more about people of Afghanistan who are living in Pakistan and the situation currently going on in Afghanistan. So right now, the people of Afghanistan who are living in Pakistan as refugees, I have talked to them. They are happy for Taliban taking over. And they just want peaceful Afghanistan, as we all want that peaceful Taliban is beneficial for its neighborhood as well.
Yeah.
So people of Afghanistan or refugees that are living in Pakistan, they can go back to their country if Afghanistan is peaceful. They have their families over there, their properties over there, and they move back and forth between Pakistan and Afghanistan. So it will be, beneficial for them if Afghanistan is peaceful. It is beneficial for Pakistan if Afghanistan is peaceful. And most importantly, we're gonna have very few refugees left in Pakistan. Right now, we have 4 million refugees in Pakistan, Afghan refugees. So it is huge burden on any economy. Any economy can go down because of 4 million refugees from any country.
Yeah, and I'm Polish, and I know that it was one of Polish politicians. He was born in Poland, but then he started working for Rockefellers and the Trilateral Commission, Zbigniew Brzeziński. I know in 80s he was coming to Pakistan and financing Mujahideen, right? Tell us about Mujahideen and Taliban. What is the difference? How did it start? Why we don't have to worry now about Taliban taking over Afghanistan? Because I didn't say that yet, but we have the situation in Afghanistan that till now they had President Ashraf Ghani, right? And he fled, and now Taliban took over, and Taliban is ruling Afghanistan now. Everybody in the mainstream media is scared and is threatening us that this is something horrible, something horrific. And I know that many people say that it is horrible that USA lost this war, and it is horrible that they didn't win. They were not successful. But I think, look, from my perspective, USA in Afghanistan are occupying the country and they have no reason to be there, as far as I am concerned. And we know CIA had a drug business there, and they were growing poppies and producing opium, and they were producing heroin there, and they had big business there. So to me, it's not so sure. I'm not so sure it is bad that Taliban is now taking over. But I saw the photo. I'm gonna put it here for everybody to see. um, leaders of Taliban were visiting Chinese Communist Party on 28th of July. So maybe it means also Taliban is connected to China now. Explain to us about Mujahideen, Zbigniew Brzeziński, Taliban then, Taliban now. What are your thoughts on that?
Hania, first of all, the meaning of Mujahideen is army. Mujahideen is army. Okay, they may be in civil dress, they don't have uniform. Okay, but they are army, fighting against any foreign occupier or fighting against any invasion. Are Mujahideens. They are not any unethical or un-Islamic or they are not doing something wrong. They are fighting against foreign occupations mostly.
Yeah, yeah.
Now coming to the Russian invasion in Afghanistan back in 70s. When Russians invaded Afghanistan, these were the Mujahideens who were fighting against Russia. And Brzezinski came to Pakistan, Khyber Pass in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. On February 1980, he visited refugees camp and motivated those refugees to go back their country and fight against Russia. And they clearly mentioned that we don't want to come on front line to help you. So they wanted some facilitator, which was Pakistan, because it was in neighborhood, and Afghanis were refugees here, and they wanted to train some Mujahideens against Russia. They were fighting a holy war to save their land at that time. These were the words of Brzezinski back in 1970s and 80s. And later on, they become terrorists because America was going to invade Afghanistan. So they were terrorists. So this is dual policy of America. Other thing is, if I talk about Taliban, Taliban was created in 1994 when Americans left. USSR was defeated and they had civil war in Afghanistan. Mullah Umar and Mullah Abdul Ghani brother, and there were some other leaders of Taliban who created Taliban. Taliban is plural of Talib, which means seekers of knowledge, students of Islam, or seekers of knowledge. Okay, so it was created back in September 1994. And you talked about Taliban now and back in 90s. The difference between Taliban now and back in 90s is huge. Okay, the way they are behaving is much mature than before. They are talking about human rights. They are talking about women's rights. They have announced general forgiveness. And if you look at the videos of 15th of August when Taliban took over Kabul, they did not fire a single bullet. Not even a single bullet was fired by Taliban. The only firing that you can see in videos was American army doing on airport, and they killed some civilians. American army killed some civilians, not Taliban. And Taliban was announcing that you don't have to worry about anything. This is your country. You can live here, and we are not going to say anything to you. We are here to secure you. We are going to provide security. And if I tell you, they visited all minorities of Afghanistan in Kabul, and they assured them that we are going to provide you security. If you have any problem with anyone, you don't have to fight with those people. You tell us, we are going to fight for you. We are going to secure you. Another thing is they met Hindus, they met Shiites, Muslim in Kabul, and they asked them to do their things according to their own concepts, and they can take out processions of Muharram. Islamic month is Muharram. So Taliban provide security. They even attended their processions, and this is something very different from Taliban from 90s.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Taliban is acting so maturely, and another thing is you talked about Taliban visiting, Taliban leaders visiting China. Yes, they not only visited China, but China is also visiting them. And Taliban asked China to help Afghanistan in rebuilding Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Taliban's first visit after taking over Afghanistan was to Pakistan, and second visit was China. Why
Okay.
all this? Just understand this demographics of Afghanistan or this region. On Afghanistan eastern border, they have Pakistan. On south, they have Iran. On on northern side, they have Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and Azerbaijan. On western side, they have Turkey. So China is doing. China has one road initiative, one road
Yeah.
and belt initiative, and its part is CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. You have visited Pakistan and you have seen that road as well. You have been there, and
Yeah.
if you remember, this is huge initiative from China. It is gonna connect Afghanistan and other Central Asian countries are gonna connect through Afghanistan. They're gonna have trade through Afghanistan, and then they're gonna use Gwadar port of Pakistan and Balochistan. They're gonna use Gwadar port to trade with the world. So
Okay.
Afghanistan in next coming years, in next 2-3 years, if Afghanistan is peaceful, in next 2-3 years, Afghanistan is going to be economic power in this region. This
How
is
about
for
Pakistan?
sure.
I know that, yeah, we traveled this road funded by Chinese or supported by Chinese, right? From
Yeah.
Chinese border, Pakistani Chinese border to Karachi, but we traveled only a little bit.
Yeah.
So is it like China is taking taking control of another country, like after now dealing with Pakistan and having business relationship, economical relationship with Pakistan, are they extending to Afghanistan now? Because it seems this way.
Well, they will definitely extend their business with Afghanistan. Anya, you have to understand this thing. Destroying a country with war is not better than rebuilding a country with business. They're gonna get opportunities.
Yeah.
They're gonna have businesses. They're gonna live a good life in Afghanistan. People of Afghanistan are going to have a good life after 45 years of war. They're gonna have peace in Afghanistan. So this is not bad. What America and Russia had done in history, it was bad for people of Afghanistan and Pakistan as well.
Yeah.
Because Pakistan was affected by those wars, and it was directly affected by those wars because we had to take in those refugees. And if you talk about China, yes, China is not only going to do trade with Afghanistan, China is also going to do trade with Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Azerbaijan, and Kazakhstan. Okay, so China is doing good trade with these countries and giving them opportunity to have good life. China is not only thinking about themselves, but they are thinking about other neighboring countries as well. They are keeping them in partnership. They are not destroying them to get the minerals from them.
Okay.
They are not invading them. They are not they are not killing them. They are giving them opportunity for business, for trade. So if, listen, uh, not a single Central Asian country has a sea touching it. They all are landlocked countries. So they need a way. They need a seaport. And Pakistan has the best seaport in the world, Gwadar Port.
Okay.
It can take 117 big ships on board. Okay, so it is the biggest port in the world. So they're gonna have this route. They're gonna be in this One Belt initiative, and they're gonna connect to CPEC through Afghanistan. Afghanistan is full of natural minerals and other things. So Afghanistan is going to, once it is peaceful, it is going to be the economic power in next 4 or 5 years. So I'm pretty much positive about Taliban. I'm pretty much positive about Afghanistan, and this time I'm not scared of Taliban, because the way they are behaving, it is unimaginable.
Do you think Americans and other nations there are safe in Afghanistan, I mean?
Yeah. Actually, Hanna, Afghanistan, on the first day of taking over, they announced that we are not going to kill anyone. We are not going to harm any foreigner. They can live in Afghanistan. They can live peacefully in Afghanistan as they want to live. This time, Taliban is showing so much flexibility, not even for foreigners, but even for their own citizens of Afghanistan. It was like compulsory to have beard in Afghanistan back in 90s. Now they announced that in Islam there is beard. You want to keep it, you keep it. If you don't want to keep it, you don't keep it. We are not. We are here to guide you. We are not going to force you, or we are not going to implement any Islamic law on you. We are just here to guide you. We are going to tell you what is Islamic law. Following or not following is up to you. So this time Taliban is showing more flexibility, more matured behavior. So I'm not scared of Taliban this time. And you talked about foreigners living in Afghanistan. Anya, Taliban has announced that they are not going to hurt anyone, and they have not fired a single bullet in taking over Afghanistan.
But we saw some videos. We saw some videos of a guy sitting over the fence of the airport. They say, because I don't know if this is fence of the airport or not. We saw one guy sitting, and there is a video that somebody dressed military is shooting at him. So I wasn't sure what to think about it.
Well, the military that was firing was American Army, firing on civilians. The videos we can see clearly, 2 or 3 army personnel are firing on civilians. So it was American Army that was firing on civilians to disperse them.
I was thinking about another video, but you know, I know that Afghans are wild people. And especially corrupt by wars they have all the time. They are traumatized by wars. They are violent because they have bad experience in their lives. I knew one Afghan back in Tokyo who was studying political sciences at the Institute of Tokyo University. And he was telling me that Afghans are very wild and violent. His own sister was about to be killed with all her kids by another Afghanis, her ex-husband actually, and father of the kids. And his sister was about to be killed. They fled successfully from Pakistan to Australia. But I know that Afghans are not totally 100% quiet, nice people, right? I was thinking, maybe if you want to rule over such corrupt nation, I don't mean that they are bad people. I mean that they are so traumatized that they changed. They changed. They cannot live like we do in peacefully, right? Yeah. They have to learn to live peacefully. Now they are not peaceful, and I can understand if somebody is shooting, one Afghan soldier is shooting some civilian. I can understand that because I don't know what is required to keep them under control, right? Proper control of the country, right?
Hania, what are you going to expect from people who have been facing wars for past 45 years?
Yeah.
Not one, but 3 generations are seeing wars continuously in their own country.
Yeah.
If you talk about refugees are not getting those privileges that a citizen of Pakistan is getting. So, or in any other country, refugees do not get privileges of citizens as compared to citizens. They don't get those privileges. So they are not living a good life. You must understand this thing in West. People should understand this thing. They have been in war zone for past 45 years, and living a good life is their right. This is basic human right. You cannot come and invade some country. If you look at not far from now, look look at past 20 years. What America has done in Asia, in Middle East, what they have done, their democracy, they wanted to bring their democracy in those countries, and they have destroyed everything in those countries. Not even a single system is left. Look at Libya, what they have done in Libya. Look at Syria, what they have done in Syria, and what they are doing in Syria. Look at Iraq, what they have done in Iraq. Iraq was most peaceful country back in Saddam's ruling. They just want to take out Bashar al-Assad because Syria is the only Muslim liberal country in Middle East.
Yeah.
Not only Muslims are living, but Christians are also there. Jews are also there. They are living happily. America doesn't like this thing. They want to bring their democracy, and they want some wild people to kill everyone.
And you know what I call it? I don't call it America. I call it deep state, because
it is deep state.
It looks like America, but to me, it's not.
Front face is American. And look at Libya. Okay, the Libyan people were having really good life back in Gaddafi's ruling. Now, how they are living? You can buy a human in Libya.
Yeah. And they were wealthy. They were wealthy. They had everything, right?
Everything was provided by the government.
Yeah.
And education was free. Your medical expense was like hospitals were free. Education was free. If you want to build a house, you could get $50,000 without any interest, and
no taxes, no interest,
many other things.
Right.
Why American killed all those good people, the leaders of those countries, and why they are against Bashar al-Assad? So American democracy is totally out of question thing. American democracy means destruction of country. any country.
Yeah.
You in your first question you said about Brzezinski. I can you go and check on videos on Boko Haram. Boko Haram is being sponsored by Americans. ISIS is being sponsored by Americans. White helmets in Syria is being sponsored by Americans. Trump clearly, before his election, he clearly said these things on media, mainstream media. Who is White Helmets? Why are we sponsoring them? Why are we financing them? Why are we arming them? And this is anywhere. Like my concept of terrorism is wherever is America, there is terrorism.
I want to ask you one more important question. There was information on the Telegram that Director of CIA William Burns met Taliban leader Abdul Ghani Barder in Kabul on Monday. CIA took part in his arrest 11 years ago in Karachi. Is it true that he was arrested in Karachi?
Yeah, he was arrested in Karachi in 2010 or 9. And later on, after 8 years in prison, he was released.
Okay. And now a CIA director went to Kabul to meet him, right?
Yeah, he went to Kabul on Monday and met Mullah Abdul Ghani Biradar. And I don't know what is their agenda, or I don't know. Mullah Abdul Ghani Biradar is working with CIA or working for CIA or working against CIA. I don't have this idea right now.
Okay.
We're gonna know this after a few months.
So what?
Let me tell you one more thing.
Yeah.
The most interesting thing that I just want to mention in this video is that after taking over Kabul, Taliban announced if anybody is going to wear mask, they're gonna kill him. And they have burned all the masks and vaccination, COVID vaccination. Okay, and this is something very interesting. And they said this is conspiracy of Illuminati. And I was not expecting such things from Taliban. Taliban this time is unexpected.
So are you telling me that Afghanistan is one country where they don't support official globalist story of a pandemic, of a strange disease hitting on everybody with no symptoms, and they say you do not vaccinate on our watch, right?
Well, Hanya, let me tell you something. Right now, what Taliban are doing is fantastic. I don't know much about COVID or other things because I haven't researched on these things. But as we all were saying that this is conspiracy of globalists to control everyone. Taliban is out of their control. Taliban, they cannot control Taliban, and Taliban is not letting them control their own people. So I'm happy that they are not trusting these conspiracies of COVID.
How about official mainstream news in Pakistan? Are they positive? Are they commenting positively? Do they think it's positive outcome? What is happening in Afghanistan?
Well, Hanya, Pakistani media, first thing I already have mentioned that peaceful Afghanistan means peaceful Pakistan.
Okay.
If they have war in Afghanistan, it means we have terrorism in Pakistan.
Yeah.
Because India is using Afghan land to sponsor terrorism in Pakistan. Not only India, Israel, France, and America. They are sponsoring terrorism in Pakistan. TTP, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, is sponsored by these countries. So
I see.
peaceful Afghanistan means peaceful Pakistan. So we are direct part in this peace.
Great, great. We keep our fingers crossed for peaceful Afghanistan and peaceful Pakistan, and all the best. So thank you for all the informations, and I hope when our viewers write down questions in comments, you can answer the questions next time we have our conversation. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me on your channel, Hanna, again. And this was fantastic. Fantastic experience with you.
Thank you. And to our viewers, thank you for watching and see you later. Bye.
Bye.